Hi there, this is CS Professor Pam with Jumpstart Code. We are continuing our lesson on responsive design. This lesson is based on the material in internetingisHard.com, responsive design. We are learning, in the previous video, we learned about media queries and how you can specify different CSS rules based on the size of your screen. We have a project set up that just has these divs for the content that we're going to put into our website. This is such a good way to approach things because working on the layout first, layout is the hardest thing. Once you do that, you go in here and you replace this content with what you actually want inside of these boxes, right? So right now, we actually have a design that works for tablets. Right now, that's what we get for any size because we haven't done any media queries. But basically for a tablet, you want to have all the sections pretty much lined up. And so that's what we have. And we accomplished that by using display flex on the page. The page is the parent of all of these divs. So all of these elements are display flex. Just to show you something here, it's because I'm using flex wrap that two things, that they are not on the same line. Because normally when you use display flex, you would see everything all on one line, right? Let me actually take this off for a second so we can make sure we remember this. I'm going to take that off, and I am going to take off the display flex in section. Right? So if I tell the page to display flex, you see what I get? It wants to put all of those children elements on the same line, regardless of what width I give them. So I'm telling them that they should each take up the whole width of the page, but flex is trying to put them all in a row. If I want to maintain that width, then we specify flex wrap, and now all of those elements will maintain their width and just wrap around to the next line. And that is what is helping us to have this particular effect. Then on these individual sections, the idea is we're going to put content in them, and we probably want that content in them to be aligned. So if we make them display flex and align everything centered, then you'll see the words that are right now kind of my placeholders are all coming in the center, right? So that's to explain the formatting that we have at this point. All right, so let's look at the tablet design, right? Where is our picture of the tablet design? So the tablet design is to look like this, right? So remember, we've done this one. So what's the difference in the tablet? It looks like this section here at the bottom, these 4 boxes here at the bottom, we would like them to display in this grid, right? So how can we do that? So it's very easy. If we specify that those particular sections only take up 50% of the space. And remember, because we have flex wrap on the whole page, then they will wrap around, right? So I only want this to happen in my tablet. So I am going to grab this just to make it a little easier for my video. And I actually had commented out my media queries, but let's take this back. What I need to do is just we're not going to do this background color stuff anymore. So we'll get rid of that. Right, so we need to apply a rule here for my tablet, and this is my tablet. So I'm going to say for the sections sign up, feature 1, feature 2, and feature 3, I want the width to be 50% of their container. Remember what they were before was 100%, right? So this is my mobile design, my mobile queries, which we actually don't need any in there. This is my tablet. All right, so let's look at what we have right now. Right now, we have these sections are taking up 100% of the page, right? So let's save. And now, look, at a certain size, I can't make it small enough there, they become 50% of the page. And because they are a part of the page and the page is flex wrap, then the content is wrapping from line to line. To make this a little easier to see, let's go and inspect so we can see what's going on, the difference between my smaller mobile. You see here when I go under 400, everything is all taking 100% of page, which is the parent. When I scroll out and get into my tablet size, the things I don't change remain their same CSS. What I did was just change that these 4 sections are now taking 50% of the space. And there you go. That's my tablet layout. Pretty much done. Okay. All right. So that looks really good and very easy to do. Again, it all depends on your design. You need to look at your design and decide your strategy. Sometimes I start mobile first and build out. Sometimes I start desktop first and build in. But the important thing is to make a plan. All right, now, what we want to do, because as this gets bigger, right, it still looks pretty good here. But we probably don't want it to just get big indefinitely. We kind of want to control and at some point have a maximum fixed size of this layout, right? So we are going to give this page a fixed width and center it with auto margins. And we're going to do this only for our bigger size. So let's just do this part first. So I'm going to copy this. That goes here in my desktop rules, right? This is desktop. So what am I doing? I'm giving my page a fixed width, and then I'm by doing margin like this, 0 for top and bottom and auto for right and left, then it is going to center the content within that space. So do you see what happens? Up to a certain width, right? There it's not. But when I get past 960 pixels, then we fix the width at that, and we're centering the content within that size of the page, right? Now we're not doing, I haven't changed anything with the bottom part, so that's why we're still seeing it as all of the elements are going across the screen, because the only rule that I have modified right now for my desktop is this page rule. Okay, one step at a time. But what we also do, we now want, let's go look at the desktop design. We want, where is my design here? We want these sections, feature 1, feature 2, feature 3, to be in one row. And that means they need to take up 33%, right? So now what we're also going to change is 33.3%. So if we take this, apply that also in here, so we can have multiple rules that are in here. So remember, so that is this section, feature 1, feature 2, feature 3. So, and they are going to wrap because of that page wrap that we have in there. So we have that. When we get down here, look at, there we have our 3 features in a row. Okay, and very nice, very easy to do. So flex and flex wrap is really, really useful for this. Also, let's look at this design again. This header section here, it looks like it should be a little bigger in the desktop. So that is this additional rule here to give the header a different height. If we look at what we have right now, what height are we applying to the header section? It's just going to be the same as section. So it's going to be 300 pixels. But I want it to be a little bigger, right? So right now, this header section is the same width as these signups and all these others. But now we're going to see that the header section is going to be a little bigger. All right, do you see how the header section now is a little bigger than these sign up and these feature sections? So you just, attack one thing at a time in terms of what you want to do. There is one more little thing here. So let's look at the design again. So we've got, let's look at what we have. So we have header at the very top. We have our menu, we have header. So that's what I have. But these feature sections need to go first. Right now, I have header. Let's put it over here. Then my content, and then these feature sections after the sign up. Well, we want to reorder this layout, and that is actually very easy to do also using Flex. So what we want to do, we want sign up and content to come underneath all the feature sections. So there's a property in Flexbox called order. By default, everything has an order value of 0. If I change sign up to have an order of 1, then it will go after the things that are 0. And then content has an order of 2. It will go after the thing that is 1, right? So you literally are reordering things. So sign up, and I'm also changing the height of the sign up a little bit, and I'm changing the ordering here. So now I refresh this page. We've got header, and look, now we've got, so menu and header we didn't change, and feature, all the features, everything we didn't change is considered an order 0. And then we gave sign up an order 1, so it comes next. And then we gave content an order 2, and so it comes at the end. So now we have a really responsive layout that we can see here. Let me inspect so we can see the different sizes. I'll just make this a little smaller. So here is my tablet. Let's see if I can take it beyond that. Yeah, I've got to make this smaller here on the side so we can see all three. There we go. So here is my biggest layout. Do you see the margin on the side? And we've got the header, then we've got the features, we've got the sign up and the content at the end. As I start making this smaller, here at my tablet size, we've got everything in this order and we've got the 4 boxes. As I make it smaller again, we go into everything being 100% and in the same line, right? So the key to this, a couple things, is first of all, just set your page up with these placeholders for all of your divs. And then work on your CSS a little bit at a time here, right? That's all we had to do. And we now have a very nice responsive layout that we can then go in and add in what we want into all these sections very easily. And we have media queries only for tablet and desktop because we did the design, what we call mobile first. So all of the main CSS is what gives me my mobile design. And by just adjusting widths and adjusting some ordering, that is how I get my other designs. Again, the real key is that the entire page is display flex and it is using flex wrap. And then by controlling the width, the percentages of the sections, that determines how they wrap around, right? So hopefully you are able to duplicate this and then use this as kind of a guide for your designs, for doing mobile responsive designs, Have fun coding.